Let's review the priority nominating process for the Latin America and the Caribbean Regional Priority Setting Workshop. Here we are on the Minor Youth Foundation homepage, and you can see there is a button here for workshop information, or you can go to the Events drop-down and select Latin America and the Caribbean Regional Priority Setting Workshop. From here, you can select Nominate Priorities. The other information that you'll see on this page is basic information about the workshop, including important dates and deadlines. You'll also have an option to nominate priorities here. Okay. It's important to understand the unique ID of existing priorities for the nomination process. So here we are on the nomination page, and there's priority setting criteria, and then also here you'll find the nomination instructions, including this video as well as a PowerPoint slide presentation. Down here, after the instructions and before the form, you'll see a button here for View Current GMUPL. It's really important to understand the unique ID of existing priorities. So please look over the existing list carefully. So let's go ahead and take a look at that list. Just click on that. Here in column A, you can see the existing priority unique ID. That's the number that you want to identify when you're using the form to nominate existing priorities. The list is presented as a read-only Google worksheet, so you can use Google's sort and filter features, which you'll find helpful in narrowing down the list to find priorities of interest. To access the sort and filter features, just hover in one of the column headers. Then you'll see this little drop-down arrow. Click on that and then sort. You'll see that it pulls up a temporary filter view, and then you'll also see these other drop-down arrows within the column headers. I want to nominate an existing priority for guava. So I'm going to click on that drop-down arrow in the crop name and then clear the filter. Then I'll search for guava. There it is. I'm going to select that so I can find the correct unique ID of the existing priority I want to nominate. Now I can see there are several existing priorities for guava. The one that I want to nominate is mites. Let's see. I can also sort on that. So let's see. There's an existing one for mites. And so that number is 4725. So I'm going to take a note of that. Another priority I want to nominate is the coffee rust combination. So I'm going to filter for that. First, I'm going to clear off guava, and then I'll search for coffee. Okay, let's see. I see the existing priority that I'm interested in. Let's see, so here's rust on coffee, and that unique ID number is 3814. So I'll take a note of that as well. Now I'm going to go back over to the Minor Youth Foundation website to the nomination form. You'll see up at the top of the form, I'm going to fill out my name. Okay, yeah, in there. So my first name, last name, email, and then I'll also select country. All right, then I'm going to scroll down and enter the unique ID of the priority that I want to nominate. Okay, let's see, that was number 4725. And then I'm going to click to fill form. And now you see the other fields populate with the crop common name, target common name, target scientific name, and the other fields on the form have auto-populated. So you can't change anything that's in those fields because they're tied to the existing priority. If any of the fields are not what you expect, please go back to the list of existing priorities and confirm the unique ID. And you can also just double check it if you go back up here to the form and see what you typed in. Okay, I'm going to go back down. Form, everything looks good. I'm going to click on I'm not a robot and then submit. After you click submit, you'll see a thank you screen that includes your country, the unique ID of the existing priority, the crop common name, and the target common name. From this thank you screen, you can nominate another existing priority or add a new priority. Just click on either of the links that's available that's appropriate. I'm going to nominate another existing priority. Okay. So as you can see, your name, email, and country is already filled out on the form. And then you just enter the next priority that you want to nominate. The second one I wanted to nominate is 3814. Okay, then I'll click to fill form. Check to make sure that's the right information. Scroll down, select I'm not a robot, and submit. All right, when looking at the list of priorities for coffee, I see there's not an existing priority for the combination of coffee and coffee leaf miner. And that's a particular problem in my country. So I want to nominate that as a new priority. Okay, I'll go back to the foundation website and in the other tab that I have open and click on add a new priority. Here again, you'll see the form populates with your name, email, and country. Scroll down a little bit and you'll find a drop-down for the crop common name. Click on that. Drop down and you'll see all of the available crop names that are in the current global minor use priority list. If you know the crop you want to nominate is not in the list, scroll all the way to the bottom of the drop down and select Add option. This opens up a dialog box where you can type in the option that you want to add and click OK. I'm going to click cancel there. I know coffee is already available, so I'm going to select that. They're listed in alphabetical order. There's coffee. Okay, then I'm going to scroll down a little bit to the target common name and look for leaf miner. Leaf miners is there. Actually, leaf miners is there a couple of times. You can select either one. Again, these are all of the available current targets in the existing priority list. Then we choose the cropping system. If you want to nominate a priority for both field and greenhouse, please make an entry for each system. For coffee, I'm going to select field. Next, select climate zone. If you don't see the option you want, you can select other and then type in your option. But I know what I'm selecting it for is tropical, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. All right, for this discipline, I'm going to be selecting entomology. Again, you have an option to type in other. Everything in the section below is optional information for submitting a new priority. everything above includes required fields. We must have this information at the top of the form in order to submit a new priority. Okay, again, in the second section of the form, everything here is optional. You'll notice that there are reference links included right within the form. So if you wanted to look up the codex group codes or the EPPO reference code, you could do that with those links. Okay, so for the target scientific name, this is certainly information that we're interested in having you fill out. Again, it's not required, but it is better if you do identify the target scientific name. It will help us understand the correct target or pests in the event that there are many different types within the target common name. For example, weeds has more than 50 associated scientific names, and this dropdown includes all of the target names already in the existing priority list. Like with the other dropdowns, you have the option to add another target scientific name if the one that you want is not available in the dropdown list. And as you can see, there are quite a few in here already. And again, listed by alphabetical order. And you do have that option down here to add. We also have a drop-down list of potential solutions. The solutions included in the drop-down come from the IR4 list of solutions and includes over 900 options listed alphabetically. Again, this field is optional, but if you understand or if you know of a potential solution, please select it. Now go down to the bottom, select I'm Not a Robot, and then click Review Before Submit, this button, which gives you another chance to make any changes before submitting the new priority. So if everything looks good, you can submit. If you notice you need to change something, just click the back to the form. Actually, I am going to add the scientific target name. I'm going to scroll down here and look for the target scientific name. Okay, I do not see my target scientific name. So I'm going to go all the way down here, add option, and click OK. Now see, you can see that verification expired. That's why it did that. But so I'm going to make sure that I click I'm Not a Robot. And then once again, review before submit. Now I can see my target common name, leaf miners, that all looks good. And my target scientific name is included in there now. So this time I'm going to click submit. Okay, you'll get the thank you screen that includes your country, crop common name, target common name, and then the cropping system. And again, here, you'll have the option to submit another new priority or nominate an existing priority. I'm done for now, so I'm just going to check my submissions. To do that, I'm going to go back over to the other tab that I have open for the global minor use priority list that we're using for the workshop. Down here at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the nominations tab. Click on that, and then you can view what you've submitted. There's going to be several lines in this spreadsheet. So what you can do is go over here. Go over here. So let's see. But you can sort on either your email or your name. So you can clear those off. Click on your name and see everything that you've submitted. All right, so that's good. I can see my, the existing priorities that I nominated. And then here at the bottom, that's the new priority that I nominated. Okay. So let's say you wanted to come back on a subsequent day to add another priority. For example, I've discussed a new priority with my colleagues. So what you want to do in that scenario is you'll come back, through either from the home page or from the events dropdown and click on nominate priorities. And then just scroll down below the instructions. All right, so right here below the instructions, and that would be the current GMUPL, and above the nominate existing priority form, there's a link right here. Okay, that link gives you access to the submit a new priority form without having to go through the existing priority form. And we did it this way because it's most likely that participants will nominate existing priorities first and then add new priorities by clicking on the links within the thank you screen. It's the same form. It's just, this is the way that you get direct access to it. Right, so that covers the nominating process. Thank you so much for your time and for your participation in the priority setting process.